Hello, welcome to the Rope Break podcast. The Rope Break podcast. Get out. I'm joined with Dan. Hi, Dan. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah. I think firstly we need to talk about Saturday night main event. How do you feel about that? And obviously Friday night as well.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, me and you have already spoke about this, and we kind of was very polar opposites on them
Yeah.
both. For me, I don't even know why. I usually enjoy SmackDown. For some reason, this week got to about halfway through, and I was just like, I'm bored. I'm just
Yeah.
really bored. I don't know. It might have been nothing to do with them. It might have just been me. But I was just, the last hour and a half, I just basically fast forwarded everything and just seen who won, and then turned. I just couldn't watch anymore. I was bored. And then Saturday night main event, I actually really enjoyed it. Yeah, I know that a lot of people are finding it a bit pointless having title matches on it because there's no way that people are going to drop belts at what is a glorified house show, and it definitely not like everyone knew that Rhea weren't dropping the belt in the first title defense. Everyone knew Gunther weren't dropping the belt to Jay. And I think most people knew that, Braun wasn't going to drop the belt to Sheamus. Yeah. But I have got to say, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I thought the matches was really good. Given the little disagreement and debate me and you had last week, I know what you mean about Nia. She has definitely improved. I still think that she hurt Rhea in the match. I do think that she legitimately hurt her. But I think we'll always have that with Nia. But I will give you a little bit of credit. She has definitely improved. Yeah, I don't know. I know you weren't that keen on Saturday night main event. I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed SmackDown, but Saturday night main event, just everything was predictable. Everything that you thought was going to happen happened, and I don't know whether it was you because I was obviously watching it on YouTube. It just seemed to run on long, like it seemed to be longer than it was. Like obviously it was only 2 hours long, but it's for me it seemed to run on longer than SmackDown did, which was a 3 hour show. It just dragged on, and yeah.
Yeah, I felt like Saturday night main event went like that, went really quickly, and SmackDown, I was like, I was Churchill dogging. I don't know. I don't know. I really enjoy SmackDown, and I don't even necessarily think it was a bad SmackDown. It might have just been something to do with me. Sometimes we're just not in the mood for know. And I don't know. I was really bored. I got halfway through SmackDown. I just ended up fast forwarding the rest. I couldn't watch anymore. And that's really unlike me, but
Yeah, that I mean the thing with Saturday night main event, like you're saying, it is a glorified house show. I don't. They built it up as this. Normally they were like special event sort of thing, so they would happen like 2 or 3 times a year. But I think we're going to get quite a lot of them throughout the year.
I don't ask me why. There are things about it that I don't particularly like. This is probably very controversial and probably makes me look like a bit of an asshole. I'm not particularly keen on Jesse the Body Ventura being there.
No.
I know he's a legend. I'm not, but every time he's in a segment, I'm just like, Jesse, shut up. He's talking over like Cole and Pat, and I'm like, Jesse, you don't even know what you're talking about, mate. Fucking like, I don't know. I just wasn't. Whereas like the opposite, I know he's Marmite, and I used to hate him years ago. But when JBL came back and joined the commentary team for one match the other week, I thought he did really well. I don't know. There are definitely things about Saturday Night Main Event that I wasn't keen on. It is a glorified house show, but for me, it feels fun. The quality of matches on it are high. It's in between a Raw and a pay per view. Every match that's on it is a big match. There's title matches, and the one like it's like, how could you not enjoy Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman? I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I loved. I thought that the ending was great. Jacob just kept hitting him and hitting him and hitting him, and and he just wouldn't stop. And what I love, it was that Bronson Reed thing again.
That's what the first thing when I saw that. The first thing I said was where he just kept hitting him in the corner, and I was like, "Well, they've got to do something." Bronson Reed isn't there.
Yeah, it
because you could tell that may have been Bronson Reed with the tsunamis. Yeah. Just keep doing them and doing them.
But similarly with Bronson Reed, when Bronson did the 7 tsunamis onto Seth, and even though Bronson's a heel, and no one particularly, likes him that much.
Yeah.
Whether it's a heel or you just, or for other reasons, and everyone loves Seth and he's obviously a babyface. The fact that they were going one more time,
time, yeah.
And it was the same with Jacob and Braun. When Tama Tonga drags him out of the ring and he's walking the ramp, and then Jacob kind of goes, "Nah, fuck it," and runs back into the ring. All and go, "Yes!" Everyone's loving the fact that he's doing another one. I think the only thing I'd have done differently in that spot is I think Jacob should have hit Nick Aldis. I think that would have been a really good image. And I think it'd have been, I think you'd have gone. I think everyone would have gone, "Oh shit, he's crossed the line here now. This crazy."
Yeah.
When Nick Aldis got in his face, even if it was just a slap, I do think Jacob should have hit him. But yeah, I don't know. It is a glorified house show. It's kind of like in between a Raw and a pay-per-view. It's kind of in between there. It's condensed. It's only 2 hours long, but you can't knock the quality of the actual wrestling that's on it. Both that they've done, the actual quality of the wrestling that has been on both of them has been very good.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And we get more wrestling, so it's kind of like a win-win. The only thing I don't like is it being on YouTube. It's just annoying having to fast forward the. We'll be right back.
Yeah. It was just it just seemed to I don't know if it was just me. It just seemed to drag a little bit. But like you're saying, you can't deny the quality of the matches were very good.
Well, what did Kirsty and the kids think? Did they enjoy it, or did they?
Yeah, they enjoyed it. They just kept getting annoyed with "We'll be right back." They just kept getting annoyed with that.
Yeah.
But they liked it. Like I said, it was just a bit predictable. It's just obviously they're going back to the old school. That's why they've got Jesse the Ventura there, and it just doesn't fit anymore with the modern wrestling. It just doesn't fit. And I don't mind having him gripe with you as well.
I don't mind having him there. I just don't think he should be. I don't think he should be on commentary. When they kind of go to Joe Tess and Jesse Ventura stood next to him, and it's like 2 or 3 minutes of him just talking shit. That doesn't bother me. It's when he's he's doing commentary and he's talking over Pat McAfee and arguing with him, and even Pat was a bit like, "All right, okay now."
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I by the looks of it, they're going to be doing one a month. It looks like they're going to be doing one every month.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it used to be sort of an event thing that they put out like 2 or 3 a year. But
do you not think it has a bit of a mini pay-per-view feel though? Do you know, not a big pay-per-view, but do you know, I'm trying to think of a Crown Jewel, or a lower level pay-per-view.
Not
one of the big ones. Like do you know when they just run and go, "Oh, we're going to name this pay-per-view Great Balls of Fire," and it's just like
no. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It's when they do the NXT shows, like when they do NXT Halloween Havoc, which is just a normal NXT. Yeah. They've sort of slapped a name on it.
Yeah.
And this is it feels like that. It feels like this is a Monday Night Raw, but they've just slapped Saturday Night Main Event on it.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah, it's not. It's good. It's just not pay-per-view. I mean, the matches were very good. I mean, they should have really. I mean, how do they? I mean, where does Sheamus go from here? I mean, they just keep booking him. I don't know what they're doing. I think it was like you were saying. I don't think he was going to drop the belt. It would have been easier for them to DQ it and then had a match later on, maybe at Elimination Chamber. But I think he's had like 3 or 4 matches in the last
3
couple of months for the Intercontinental, and he's just lost every single one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Even the comment, like, you know, McAfee and that, they were like, where does he go from here?
Yeah, I mean, all I can hope is that either at Royal Rumble or even at WrestleMania, he does finally win the Intercontinental title. The fact that everyone knows that it's the only thing he hasn't done in his entire career, and it's not just championships. He's won King of the Ring, he's won Royal Rumble, he's won Money in the Bank. You know, he's won an Elimination Chamber match. He's literally done everything. That he can, apart from winning the Intercontinental title. So I do think he should be winning that at probably WrestleMania. I think he should.
I was going to say maybe they're like going to leave it until give him the WrestleMania moment to sort of complete it, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, do you know what I'd love? I would love Sheamus, to win the Elimination Chamber, and rather than him picking a WWE title, him going, look, I'm like, the only thing I want is the Intercontinental, because it's the only thing I've never won. So he then challenges Braun at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title after Sheamus has won the. It's like, you know, obviously Sheamus' best mate, Drew. What are they doing with him? I mean, I did want to get your thoughts on Drew, to be honest, because I don't. He's in the best part of his career that he's ever had. He's more relevant. He's quite clearly a bigger name, a bigger star. You can tell that they are high on him. Even though as a heel, the fans are still reacting massively for him, because I think there's a respect and an appreciation there of how good he is. The stuff that he's doing on social media, his mic work, his in-ring work, he has been incredible over this last 9 months. He's been unbelievable. Yeah, every time he has a match, he gets beat. I don't, and it's not like he's 6'5", 6'6". He's built like a brick shithouse. I mean. Every time he walks, I hate him. I want to punch him in the face. Every time his music hits and he walks out, my missus goes, "Oh, there he is, my future husband." And I'm off. But like, he's got the body of a Greek god. Like, and he's, like I said, he's 6'5", 6'6". And he's very, very good in the ring. He's not the kind of wrestler that you'd expect that. Necessarily, when you look at, he shouldn't really be losing any matches, really. You know, he's
I don't know where they're, because he went on they sort of did what Kevin Owens is doing right now, where he went after people that betrayed him, didn't he? Originally, it's like the Bloodline, Sami Zayn, and JMEJ, and it's sort of gone away, but. Like you're saying, last couple of times, well, I think this last 3 or 4 matches he's lost.
Well,
what are they doing with him?
Well, he won the first one against Punk. He then lost the second and the third.
Yeah.
So he lost them.
He lost it.
Then he lost
against Jay. Yeah.
He lost against Jay. So there's 3. And he had a match against Seth. Did he have a match against? He had a match against Seth and lost that as well.
Lost. Yeah.
There's
with
4.
A roll. I think it was like a roll up or something. He lost.
Yeah. Yeah, and then obviously Sami Zayn came out, tried to help him, and then Sami accidentally booted Seth's face off.
And that's that. Obviously, we've got Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn tonight on Raw.
Yeah, and I'm
obviously from that
get involved, and
I would imagine Seth's going to get involved, or something, or it's just. I don't really know what they're doing with him. Like you're saying, he should be in the title picture.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's happening with Gunther at the moment. He's not being, to me, he's not being portrayed like Cody Rhodes is the WWE champion.
No.
I know he's the world champion. He's got but they just don't seem to be starring him like they are with Cody.
No, and this goes back to an argument that me and you have been bringing up since last year's WrestleMania, mate. It's nearly a year. Like, if you think that we're now well and truly on the road to WrestleMania,
Yeah.
We've got the Rumble in 5 days. So in 5 days' time, we'll find out who's winning the Rumble and who's going to be main event in Mania.
Yeah.
Because that's what you get for winning the
Yeah.
obviously Rumble is your main event Mania. So WrestleMania is basically around the corner now, right?
Yeah.
And it's since last year's Mania, every single champion has been booked like a bag of shit.
Yeah.
None of them look as strong as they did going into Mania. Cody didn't have a belt before last year's Mania. He won the belt. He now looks weaker than what he did before. Gunther was longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. Dropped it at Mania to Sami, but he looked like an absolute world beater, superstar.
Yeah.
He's then won the World Heavyweight title and looked lesser since. LA Knight was on fire, wins the United States Championship at Mania, does nothing with it, drops it, and is now less relevant now than what he probably ever has been on the main roster. I can keep going. Like Sami won the Intercontinental title, dropped it to Braun. Braun dropped it to Jay. 3 weeks later, Jay dropped it back to Braun. That's a mess, and none of them particularly look like Braun looks like a superstar when you see him because of how good he is. I mean, I've got to say it, and the fact that. Surely the Spear is the most overused finisher of all time. If you think about how many people have the Spear as a finisher, it's probably the most used finisher of all time. And I don't give a shit what anyone says. He hits the nastiest looking spear I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Bron Breakker's spears look nasty. And he does look like a star, but they still haven't booked him particularly well with the belt. I can keep going with this. I can name the women. I can name the time. You cannot name a single champion that won the belt or retained the belt at Mania, and between that, which is like 9 months ago to now, looks as strong or stronger than what they did. They all look weaker, all of them. And I don't know why. I don't know what's happened.
Yeah, I like I was saying, I totally agree. I don't know what's happened because I just don't know. It's a strange one. Also, as well, I've just realised. Obviously, the winner of the Royal Rumble gets to face their champion at WrestleMania, but they're also going to have Elimination Chamber, and the winner of that will then face someone at WrestleMania. Is that correct?
Yes. So yeah, I believe winning the Elimination Chamber doesn't guarantee you. It doesn't get you a main event of Mania. It gets you a title match at Mania.
Right. Okay. Because the thing is that sort of you can then already tell that Cena's not going to win it because Cena is scheduled to be at the Elimination Chamber because they've been advertising it as his last appearance inside Elimination Chamber.
I think I'm 100% certain CM Punk is winning this year's Rumble. Yeah, he's definitely winning this year's Rumble. He's never won it. He's never won a Rumble. He's never main evented a Mania. I would be astounded if CM Punk doesn't win this year's Rumble. I would be amazed.
Wouldn't it be? I'll tell you what, that would be full circle as well because you would have Punk versus Cody. You got AEW, and then it's sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's come full circle. They face each other again,
unless Seth potentially. I mean, Punk could win the main event and go, I've not picked who I'm facing yet. I'm gonna take my time and I'll announce it when I'm ready. Seth could then, it could be Seth versus Gunther at the Elimination Chamber, and Seth picks Gunther. So then Punk picks Seth. For Seth has to win a belt for him and Punk to main event at Mania. And I think that's the plan. I think they do want Punk and Seth main event in Mania. I mean, but then do you have Punk beating Seth again at Mania? It's tough. I don't.
Yeah. I'm going to bring up because I think there were some other matches announced for the Royal Rumble. There was 2 matches in that. Obviously, the ladder match.
Yeah.
And I'm just bringing up now. So the other one is obviously DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns
Yeah,
in a 3 out of 4, a 2 out of 3 falls match.
that'd be good. Really
That is
good.
going to be epic. That is going to be a really, really good match. But yeah, it's a 30 men, 30 women. We were talking about this because we would have preferred it to be 40.
Well, there were
Because
rumours
then
they were
there's
going to do 40, yeah.
yeah. But it's come up with graphics now. Oh yeah, I also want to get your thoughts on what you thought on SmackDown with Charlotte.
Why have you brought that up? Because you know you're just going to set me off a rant. You know what's going to happen.
Because
You're going to set me off on a rant.
we like the surprises, right, of people coming back. And then they done the vignette last week, and then this week they done another one where she's coming into the Rumble. It's like, well, you've already why? I'm with you on this. It's like, why?
Yeah, there's nothing else to say apart from the word why.
Yeah,
it's bullshit and it makes no sense. You want the Royal Rumble, you want as many surprises as you can, which is what I've said loads of times. At a normal pay-per-view, yes, you don't want more than one surprise because the second surprise isn't going to get a pop as big because you can't. That raw adrenaline when you get a massive surprise and everyone's up off the seat and screaming and losing the shit. 10 minutes later, when another surprise happens, you're still trying to count down from the previous one. You've not got as much energy to give it large again. But the Rumble is different. The Rumble was designed for there to be surprises.
Yeah.
So there is no need to ever announce anything at a Royal Rumble. And people are going, yeah, but the fact that they've announced Charlotte means that, that they've got a big surprise. And everyone's obviously saying that the big surprise will be AJ Lee. I don't think it will be. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope it is AJ Lee. The big surprise will be the return of Becky. They'll have announced Charlotte so that Becky's the surprise. Just fucking have them both as a surprise. You don't have to go, oh, well, Becky's returning and Asuka's returning. There's two surprises. Alexa Bliss may also be returning. So we've got a couple there. So we'll announce Charlotte. No. Just don't.
Yeah.
You want as many surprises as possible.
As possible.
I think he'll be surprised. I think he'll return.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know whether it'll be in the
AJ Styles. AJ Styles.
Don't know if his ankle's healed yet.
Right.
Don't know if he's cleared yet because I know that he was projected to be out for quite a while with that broken ankle. So I hope so. I'm not sure if he's ready yet. I hope he is. I just don't know whether Randy returns as an entrant in the Rumble match or whether he returns during Cody and Owens because obviously Owens took Randy out with the package pile driver.
Well, yeah, and then well, there was some talk about on online actually with this. So someone said it normally what happens is whoever gets the upper hand just before their match is the win. It normally goes on to lose their match. Now on the contract sign in the main event, I would say Cody Rhodes got the upper hand because he fought back. Cody went back, and then Shawn obviously super kicked him.
Yeah,
and I was a bit like, hang on, they've got the upper hand here. So, normally what happens is whoever gets the upper hand just before normally goes on to lose.
Yeah,
and I would love Kevin Owens to win.
Yeah, I would.
I would love Kevin Owens to win.
Look, I think I've already called it, so I'm sorry, guys. I've ruined it for everyone. Sorry, but I'm convinced that, and WWE keeps saying it's a lot of matches. It's an ODQ. It's no countouts. The ladder can be used as a weapon. The only way that the match ends and the only way that you win the match is by climbing the ladder and claiming both belts, and it keeps emphasizing both. They're gonna grab one each. Cody will grab one, Owens will grab the other. I just don't know which one will be which.
Yeah,
because I think, like, realistically, you'd think that Cody grabbed WWE and Owens would grab the Winged Eagle, but they might flip it.
Yeah, I would love
might grab the
Kevin Owens to win,
and Cody might grab the Winged Eagle. Either way, you weaken Owens. Like, he looks like the fact he's walking around with Winged Eagle champion over his shoulder, going, I'm WWE champion, And I was like, no, Owens, you're not. You stole the belt. You're not a champion. Like, fuck you, here I am. Who's going to tell me I'm not a champion? Look, I've got the belt here to prove it. Like, I think if Cody wins that match clean and just wins both belts, and Owens leaves without a belt, that makes him look so much weaker moving forward. You have to keep him in with a belt. If you don't want to take the belt off Cody, then you can just keep Owens with the Winged Eagle Championship and just have him keep walking around calling himself the world champion.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like such a fucking megastar with that belt. Obviously, as much as I love Cody and as much as I feel like he has been done dirty a bit, the fact that everyone wanted him to finish his story, we as fans got robbed of a Roman Reigns Rock main event because we all wanted to see Cody finish his story, and they've booked him like an absolute bag of shit since. Like, it's not his fault that title felt less important than when it was with Roman.
Yeah.
That isn't Cody's fault. It's the way he's been booked. He had 3 title defenses against AJ, won all 3 of them, and he had like 2 or 3 title defenses against Solo. On TV, I mean, like, because he's playing the title on like house shows and stuff like that, televised, but on TV, he's only defended the title like 5 or 6 times, and it's to 2 or 3 different people. That is it in 9 months. Cody didn't want that. Cody would have wanted to defend that title on every pay-per-view against a different opponent. He'd have wanted AJ first, then Owens, then Orton, then, you know what I mean? He'd have wanted to defend that title every month against different people. It's not his fault that he's been booked the way he's been booked.
Yeah, I don't know whether his title reigns just become a bit sort of stagnant.
It has, but again, it isn't his fault that it has. But
no. It's just it's become like, this is why I think he needs to drop it to Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
But to give Cody a bit more legitimacy, a bit more sort of, you know what I mean?
He's then got to fight.
Yeah.
To get his title back at Mania.
And cause it's just gone a bit stale, really. Because I think people wanted more. Like, everyone's like, oh yeah, he's finished. Like we were saying, oh yeah, he's finished the story, and then it's a bit like, now what?
Exactly. I don't know. It's a tough one. I think. Do you know what I think is going to happen at the Rumble?
Go on.
I think that the final 2 in the Rumble match is going to be CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And I think Paul Heyman screws Roman because he owes Punk a favour.
Yeah, well, this is another thing, wasn't it? Because he says, you owe me, and we still don't know what that is and what that means.
I'm convinced that the final 2 are going to be Roman and Punk, and Punk's just going to give Heyman a look, or he's going to say, remember, you fucking owe me. And then just as it looks like Roman's about to win, Heyman will screw Roman. That's what I think is going to happen.
That'd be really interesting. That would be a proper
leading to the main event of WrestleMania being Roman Reigns versus Paul Heyman.
That'd be but no, it's like you're saying, they can go loads of different ways, can't they? Really?
Yeah.
I'd like to, like I said, do you remember when we started at the start of the year? Like, whose year is it going to be?
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's Drew McIntyre. I've got a funny feeling that
I hope
this time next year we're going to say, what a year, what a fucking year Drew McIntyre has had.
But
what a year.
If that's going to happen, fucking Triple H needs to start letting him win a match or 2. You know, he needs to start winning. I mean, I'm happy with my 2 picks because when you asked me that on our first episode of the year, my 2 was Lara Valkyria, who then has gone on to become the first ever women's Intercontinental champion, and my other was Ilya Dragunov, who I believe is returning at the Rumble.
Yeah, it's Yeah, I mean,
and Tyler Bate as well.
yeah,
Tyler Bate's due to return soon as well. So
yeah. I said, watch out because this year's going to be like Omer Theme's year, and then he
Yeah.
went on and won the title.
yeah.
So I just want to run through some of the matches we got tonight, or what's happening tonight on Raw. So
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, Cody's scheduled to appear. I don't know why he's on SmackDown, but they have got this transfer window open where they've been going backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
But he is scheduled to appear tonight, so I would imagine he's going to talk about Kevin Owens.
I imagine Owens will appear as well then.
Yeah. The other match is a women's tag team title match. Obviously, Bianca Belair and Naomi versus Liv Morgan and Rochelle Rodriguez. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that.
It's just a bit random, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, also the return of Paul Logan or Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Let's see how that comes off because he's been away, he's been back and forth, hasn't he? It's obvious. I would imagine it's him declaring himself into the Rumble.
Mm. Yeah, I'd imagine so.
But apart from that, I mean, he's good. I mean, we said it before. You know, despite who he is, he's good in the ring.
Yeah, he's good in the ring.
Like he's like you want to hate him. You want to go, he's shit. Like, but he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, and then you obviously got a match between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn on the back of what happened last week. So
Ross Drew can get himself a win.
Yeah, hopefully that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah,
oh well, you know what? Maybe he does win it. Maybe Drew wins it, and Seth costs Sammy.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
And the other match, I think that's the last one that's been. Hang on, let me just have a little look through here. Yeah, the last one on here is obviously the World Tag Team Title match between obviously the War Raiders and Judgment Day. So that's Dirty. For some reason, it's got Dirty Dom and JD.
Yeah.
No Balor.
Yeah. Well, I don't know yet. I don't know what's going on with Balor because Balor weren't there last week either, was he?
No.
I think he might be. He does this though, doesn't he? I think when he came back last time when he went back to NXT after he'd been and got married and got a couple of tattoos, he came back with like 2 or 3 tattoos and a wife, and I was like, you look different, Finn.
Yeah.
And I think he basically said then like he needs to have his scheduled time off where he can go home and spend some time with his parents. So
yeah.
And I'm staying in Dublin, and we're going to be visiting Bray at the end of March. So I'm looking forward to
lovely. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Who knows? I might even bump into Finn, a Becky or something if they're back home.
Yeah, if they're back there.
Yeah.
Obviously the Royal Rumble's coming up. Like where does it's interesting, sort of where do we go to the Elimination Chamber? Sort of what? Because are we going to get a women's Elimination Chamber and a men's one like we've done previously?
Yeah.
And how is that going to work? So do you know? Obviously, we remember, Shayna Baszler.
Oh, Shayna was amazing in that Elimination Chamber match.
It was just she eliminated everyone. But they pushed their and then all of a sudden it just went poof, and it just ended. I hope that doesn't happen with someone else in that match. But yeah, I think John Cena is scheduled to be in the Elimination Chamber, so that says to me he's not been in the Rumble, even though he's in the Rumble.
Yeah, I to be honest, I wasn't expecting him to win the Royal Rumble anyway.
No. I mean, where do they place it? This is another thing as well. So we got WrestleMania coming up. John Cena's last WrestleMania. Who do you have in place?
What, at Mania?
Yeah.
I mean,
his final ever opponent at WrestleMania. Who would you? I don't know.
If you would probably say Punk, if it didn't look like Punk was facing Seth.
They had a big rivalry years ago, didn't they?
Rock, mate. Hey, do you know what? Rock Cena, because they're 1-1 at Manias.
Oh yeah.
Rock's won 1 and Cena's won 1, so potentially you get a Rock and Cena 3. Do you know? If he was still at WWE, it would have definitely have been Edge. I think if Edge was still at WWE, I think the Mania match would have been Cena and Edge, because I mean they had a really good rivalry that lasted a long time.
Yeah.
So
it's I don't know. Do you book him like sort of like they booked the Undertaker? Do you book Cena to put someone else over like they did with Roman? Because
I mean the thing is, you usually like. Your last ever. I mean, the thing is, okay, it's his last ever Mania match, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be his last ever match. So he doesn't have to lose that Mania match to put someone else over. I think he will. I think whoever he does face, you know, I think this will be shit. It's not what I want. I'm just throwing things out there.
Yeah.
Who has been called the next coming of John Cena?
Well, that would be Logan, wouldn't it?
Well, no, I think the who people call the next coming of John Cena is Austin Theory. I think a lot of people.
Well, Austin Theory faced him last time and beat him, didn't he? So you've got to think Austin Theory, even though he's not featured as much, obviously he was on SmackDown, he's been transferred to Raw. He has a win over John Cena.
Well, I mean, Cena's not won a match in like 4 years, has he? So
no, but yeah, it's really strange. Do you book him like they did with Ric Flair, where they had him go up against
Flair and Shawn Michaels?
Michaels. Or do you book him like they did with Undertaker? Yeah. Or do you book him with someone like Undertaker and having get someone over?
It won't be. Yeah. It'll be an Austin Theory, a Grayson Waller, a Logan Paul. It'll be someone that he'll lose to, that he'll put over, I think. But I think we all want him to win the 17th World Championship before he retires. I think we all want him to be. Do you know, this is what I'd do. I would have seen be the one to break Ric Flair's record, but I would have, over the next few years, fingers crossed he can stay fit, I would have Orton break it, because Orton's on 13. Orton's on 13, Triple H finished on 14. So I think I would have Orton break Cena. I just personally think, as a wrestling fan, I mean, wearing a fucking shirt. Like I loved Cena, but I was always more of a fan of Orton, and the main reason isn't Cena's fault. We know that Cena had loads of arguments with Vince and ended up because he kissed Vince's ass, didn't he, to get a lot of what he got, but. We all know he wanted to turn heel, and Vince wouldn't let him turn heel because of how much money he made the company as a babyface. Because all the kids loved him, never give up, and all the kids were obsessed with him. So he didn't want to lose his biggest babyface. I think right now something similar is going on with Cody. I think Cody wants to go back to the American Nightmare. There's little glimpses of it, things he says and things he does, and little looks he does, and he's even mentioned that he tabled the term. The moniker of the Nightmare as a heel. Yeah. I think he wants to go. I think he wants to be a heel. I think he knows that his title run has been a bit dry and a bit meh. And I think he wants to turn heel because I think he thinks his title run will be better if he's a heel. Similar to Roman. Roman's 3.5 year title reign, he ended up becoming a babyface when he returned after he dropped the belt. But his entire 3.5 year run, he was a heel. I think Cody wants to be a heel, and I think Triple H is saying to him, "Look, you're the company's biggest babyface. You are the John Cena of today."
Yeah.
So I was more of an Orton fan because when Orton was a babyface, you loved him. The fans would come out, "Oh, Randy's here," and you know, he's so likable that you can't not cheer him on. But when he's a heel, he's a nasty, horrible, sadistic bastard. You still love him. You know, you don't. I mean, when he's obviously, you know, when he's like ripping fucking Jeff Hardy's ear apart and stuff, and then you're going to boo him because he's doing stuff quite nasty to one of your childhood heroes in Jeff Hardy. Then you're like, "Oh, Randy, you suck, boo!" But even as a heel, his music is, and everyone still cheers. Yeah, Randy's here. You know, so I was always more of a Randy fan anyway. I just think if you're a wrestling purist, you want Randy to be the one to either Randy break Flair's record instead of Cena, or have Cena break it and then have Orton break Cena's record and have Orton win 18, because Orton's the one that never left. Orton was the one. I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
Just look at Randy Orton. Like he looks like $1 million. Is a Hollywood director's wet dream. I've got this other way I can put it. He's a good-looking guy. He's in great shape. He's with his tattoos in his sleeves. He looks cool as fuck. He's had so many offers to make films in Hollywood. He probably had more offers. Obviously not now, but if you go back to like 10 years ago, he was getting more offers for films than what Rock and Cena were 10 years ago. But he was going, well, no, I'm a wrestler. He stayed. Rock and Cena went, Hollywood money, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Now, I know Cena's kept coming back, but my point still stands. Rock and Cena wanted to go to Hollywood and be actors in movies. That's fine. I've not got nothing against that. But I think Randy going, well, no, I'm a WWE wrestler and this is what I want to do. And him turning down all of that money and fame and all those accolades that Hollywood could have given him because he wanted to stay and put on wrestling matches for us. So for me, I would rather Orton either be the one to break Flair or have Orton beat Cena if Cena breaks it. I think Orton deserves that.
Yeah.
You know, purely because he stayed. He stayed when others didn't. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, you were saying about...
Sorry, and also if you look at the era when Orton did stay, Edge got the horrendous neck injury, which obviously he then missed 9.5 years. Rock had already left and gone to Hollywood. Cena then started leaving and going to Hollywood. Triple H virtually retired. Shawn Michaels retired. Undertaker virtually retired. Kane left. People like Big Show and Booker T and other big names that also left. Bryan Danielson then had his concussion stuff and he missed 3.5 years because of his concussion problems. CM Punk had a massive falling out and left.
Yeah.
The only fucking top level, elite level star that they had at that company for a good few years was Randy fucking Orton. It was. Yeah. Because everyone either retired, left for Hollywood, or spat the W out in an argument and went, "Oh, fuck you, I'm going." The only fucking major star that they had was Randy. And he could have very easily gone, I'm being offered millions and millions of dollars here to, you know, and for his brand, it'd have been more known worldwide, you know, and he turned it all down because he stayed. So I think Randy should be the one to break the record personally.
Yeah, the title record, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you saying about, you know, you like them whether they're a heel or a face. And the same thing for you is the same thing that I think of Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I love Owens.
Because he's brilliant all around. Like, even his comedy stuff that he was doing with Jericho. Yeah. Oh, you've made the list.
Yeah.
And obviously then, but he has been like you're saying, like he is at the moment, like a sadistic, twisted, and he can be really nasty.
I'll look
at and then, and then obviously when he's good, he's brilliant. But he's brilliant whatever. He's good on the mic, good in ring skills. He's
everything. Yeah, everything.
Yeah. Yes, it's a very rare thing in wrestling. You don't get that full circle where they're good on the mic good at wrestling, and good at promos. You don't get that full circle.
No.
Randy Orton's one of them. Kevin Owens is one of them.
Yeah.
And we've said this many times, didn't we? I remember us when Ricochet was there, like amazing wrestler.
Yeah.
Shit on the mic.
Yeah.
He can't cut a promo. Even our good friend, Seth Rollins. We've said this before.
He's got better.
Brilliant.
He's got better.
But he has gotten better. But his promo work, you could tell that. I mean, we could tell years ago he needed something written down. He couldn't. You know what I mean? He couldn't just ad-lib or go up on his own.
Yeah.
He's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
But
Ambrose, which is why Ambrose used to do a lot of the talking, because Ambrose was great at it.
Yeah.
It was funny that, the biggest star of the last fucking, 15 years, arguably, is probably Roman Reigns. Well, out of the Shield, he was the worst one of the three. Like, Seth Rollins was the wrestling talent, Ambrose was the promo and on the mic talent, and Roman was just like, he's just hired muscle. He just stands there. Like,
he was the hired help. He was like the big guy, weren't he?
Yeah, he was just the big 6'5", muscular-looking Samoan guy who, looked big and powerful. That was it. Like, and obviously he's turned himself into one of the biggest stars in sports I've ever seen. And credit to him. But it's like, look, arguably the greatest in-ring performer of all time. I know that a lot of people argue over this. Shawn Michaels is always mentioned, and rightly so. I do think, obviously, with his age now, AJ Styles has to be mentioned as one of the greatest in-ring wrestlers of all time. But AJ has never been particularly great on the mic. He can get by. He's good enough where he can get by, but no one would ever go, have you ever gone, AJ Styles, he's a fucking magician on the mic. He's so good at promos.
Yeah.
Never. He's good enough to just get himself by. His wrestling ability is what has made him, unbelievable. Sorry to use his nickname, but he is phenomenal. He is.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal in the ring. The only person that I've seen in terms of in-ring ability that I would, and I hate to say it because I loved Shawn Michaels. He was one of my heroes, and I love AJ Styles. But I do think Will Ospreay's just got that a little bit more. I think Will Ospreay has something in ring wrestling ability.
Yeah.
That I do think he's just pipped them. I think, and he's only about 26, 27.
Yeah.
What he could go on to achieve.
I could still see him coming. Yeah, I could still see him coming to WWE.
I hope he does.
In a couple of years, maybe. But it's just There's not many people you can say that they're good all round.
No.
Shawn Michaels was one of them. He's very good in the ring, good at promos, good at talking on the mic. Yeah. There was a few years ago. I would now, despite I don't know how you would feel about this, but I felt that the Undertaker was never very good at doing the promo stuff. He was
very much catchphrase, wasn't he?
He was very catchphrasey.
Yeah,
The Rock was another one that was full circle, good in the ring, good at promos, good on the mic.
Yeah, it's funny. Like The Rock for me is probably arguably he's probably the biggest star in the world, regardless of what if you take everything into account, bloody musicians and singers and everything, he's probably the biggest star in the world. Like, and obviously I was obsessed with him when I was a kid, like many of us were. I wouldn't personally. I call them unicorns, as you know, them that can do everything, because they're so rare. I wouldn't say Rock is an Undertaker. It is a unicorn. I think he was unbelievable on the mic. Arguably the greatest of all time on the mic. I don't think he was good enough in the ring to call him a unicorn, because if you look at the people, like if you actually look at the wrestling ability of the ones he had the rivalries with, Stone Cold Steve Austin was better than him in the ring. Triple H was better than him in the ring. Shawn Michaels was better than him in the ring. So he was. I think Triple H, unfortunately, is overlooked because of how good Shawn was at everything. I think it's very easy for people to forget just how great Triple H was as well.
Yeah.
Triple H was unbelievable again at everything. Great on the mic, great in the ring. And I think
Yeah, I
chose
would
to be
even
a
go as
heel.
far as, yeah, I would even go as far as Austin. Steve Austin wasn't good all rounder. He was good in
No,
the ring,
yeah,
but I
he
found that
wasn't.
his promo stuff wasn't there. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, again, I feel Stone Cold Steve Austin and Undertaker, they were so great and we loved them. They didn't have to be amazing on the mic because
Yeah,
all they
yeah,
had to do, the catchphrases, all Austin had to do was stand there and go, what,
yeah,
like, and it was very much kind of he'd just say his catchphrases, which was obviously similar to Undertaker. But I mean, when Undertaker started, he had Paul Bearer with him for that reason, you know.
yeah,
So, but I think the character and the gimmick that Undertaker and Kane had, they didn't need, like, you're almost taken away from the character by having them talk on the mic. So I
yes,
think potentially maybe we're being a little bit harsh on Taker there because
mm.
because of his character, he was never really given the opportunity to actually cut those big promos
Yeah,
because of the character that he was. You'd almost
yeah.
take away from that by having him stand there cutting a 15-minute CM Punk fucking pipe bomb promo like that. So
That wasn't his character.
was he
Yeah,
actually given the opportunity to go out and cut an amazing promo when that's not what you like? It's like, I think Aleister Black, who people are saying Aleister Black might be returning to the Rumble, but every
yeah,
time I Google it, it says that his contract with AEW runs till 2027. So
right.
I don't know, but when you Google it, it says he's under contract until 2027. I fucking hope Google's wrong because I love Aleister Black. I think he's incredible, and I think they dropped a massive bollock when they let him go to begin with. Cheers, Vince and fucking Nick Khan, you pair of bellends. Anyway,
Yeah, well, they've
sorry.
yeah, there was, like I was saying, there was some rumours about Alistair Black coming back because apparently they're not using him going forward
Yeah.
with the House of Black.
So unless he can get himself out of his contract, unless he can now go, well, if Tony Khan said, look, I'm not using you on TV anymore, maybe they can kind of terminate his contract. I don't know. My
Yeah,
question for you is, because you watched it more than I did, I remember it well. You'll remember it even more than me because I know you watched every episode of it.
yeah.
Do you remember when Aleister Black debuted in NXT and how fucking intimidating he was?
Yeah, when he sat
Because
in the ring, where he just
didn't
sits down.
speak. He didn't speak.
No,
For the first like 2 to 3 years of him on WWE TV, he never ever uttered a word. And
no.
then when he did start talking and cutting promos, it was impressive because he was like, actually, this guy's really intelligent, really articulate, really fucking good on the mic. We've kind of
Yeah,
been robbed of his promo talent because for the last 3 years. But as a character and as a gimmick, it wasn't as good or as interesting or as intimidating when he started talking. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that kind of links in with the whole Undertaker and Kane thing. It's like a Dexter Lumis. He never spoke,
No,
you know, and you know, I think characters like that are better when they don't speak.
they
Um,
don't speak.
and
Yeah,
I would bring Aleister Black back with the exact same package that he had in NXT.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
the, where he sits up like fucking Dracula, where he fucking got his, so I can't get a
yeah,
stake in the heart if I'm like that. And he'd sit up through the thing, and his music was amazing, and that package in the way that the visuals of Aleister Black in NXT were
yeah,
incredible. And
yeah,
all you need to do is bring that back because it's money, and it's these things that they do. If you look at what Baron Corbin was doing on NXT when he went back down with the burn the ships,
yeah,
he kind of like mixed a lot of the the lone wolf from his original days, and the character that he got on NXT was amazing. They then brought him up to the main roster and tried changing him, and they do kind of do this all the time. The gimmick that Karrion Kross had in NXT came up to the main roster and went, no, we're not doing that. Vince was like, oh, I want you to put this stupid fucking helmet on your head so no one can see you.
yeah.
It's a
They
stupid
really,
thing. And like the big one for me, and I know he's injured a couple of people. Obviously, the biggest one being Big E. Ridge Holland, his music, his entrance music, for me, is one of the best entrance musics I've ever heard.
yeah,
It is incredible as an
yeah,
entrance music. But then he came up to the main roster and he didn't have his music. He's now gone back
yeah,
down to and they've give him his music back. Like, what? Why have you got to change things? Like don't change what ain't broke. And it
I
seems
think
like they
going back
do it a
to
lot.
Cross, I think that gimmicky thing damaged his character even to this point. Obviously, they've gone back to being.
Yeah,
They've tried to reclaim what he was doing in NXT, but I think everyone remembers him in that goofy outfit.
Yeah, it's not. His career's probably, and obviously a lot of it was Vince, and it has changed. But it's like Keith Lee. Remember when they brought Keith Lee up from NXT main roster? The first thing that they did was change his nickname, just slightly tweaked it. Yeah, and they changed his music.
Yeah,
why? And Ridge Holland's entrance music is every time it comes on, I'm just like the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. It is incredible. Yeah. It's an incredible piece of entrance music, and all he needs to do is go back to the original gimmick that he had when he came to NXT with the almost Peaky Blinders kind of, Peaky Blinders hat, the long overcoat, and he used to come out like a wooden truncheon thing, and that's all he needs. Just do that because it was working and it looked incredible. But for some reason, things work on NXT. They bring him up and they don't even try it. Like if they'd have tried to do certain gimmicks on the main roster and you give it 2 or 3 months and it's not working and the fans on Raw aren't reacting to it, then change it. They don't even give it a fucking chance.
No, there is
I don't get it.
There is something just before we go. I want to get your thoughts on. What do you think they're doing with Pete Dunne?
Don't call him Butchie. Do not call that man.
Don't call him.
Don't call him Butch. You don't like it.
Well, did you see it this Monday? They cut him off. They actually cut his mic off while he was doing a promo.
They've been cutting his entrances and everything. It goes to an advert and then it comes back and he's stood in the ring and you haven't even seen his entrance. I don't know because again he's another one. When he's given the opportunity to talk on the mic, he's good. He's good at promos.
Well, he's a good wrestler. And there was huge potential for him, and it's just I don't know. He was having this feud with R-Truth. I don't know what's happened with that.
Yeah. And
now he's just doing these. He had obviously a great match with Penta.
An amazing match. Yeah.
Amazing match. But yeah, I just don't. He was doing. He came out of the entrance. They went to they done like I think it was an advert for their their shop, and then he was in the ring, and he was cutting a promo. And they just cut his mic off mid through. And it's like,
I don't know.
What? I don't know. You can even see himself going, like, hang on, that wasn't part of that weren't part of the deal, sort of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. And again, I don't. They do this, and it does kind of beg the question of like, it's the whole for me. I always call it the. It's really shitty on him, but I always call it the Tyler Breeze, the Tyler Breeze dilemma, because he lost his job because he was too nice, and he's admitted it himself. It was yes, boss. Okay, boss. What's that? You want me to wrestle for 3 hours straight against the biggest men possible and just get battered for 3 hours? I'll do it. Like. He was just yes sir, yes sir, yes sir.
Yeah,
never pushed back or fought back, and I question whether Pete Dunne backstage is a kind of I'll do that. Yeah, and again another Tyler Breeze for me was Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes, it's the guys that will just hardcore love wrestling more than anything, and they're too afraid to push back because they don't want to lose the job, and then they end up getting treated like shit and used. I think Dolph Ziggler was another one. They get used. They're incredible talents, but they get used to put other people over. Then after years of them being treated like shit, as soon as they start going, well, when am I going to get my flowers for helping every fucker else out for the last 5, 6, 7 years? When am I going to get my moment? And then it's like, fuck off. Know your role, jabroni. And then, they eventually, they don't say anything. They don't push back, but then the character and gimmick goes stale because they've not been given anything for years. So then the fans go off him and they go, oh, no one's reacting to him. Fucking get rid of him. And this, I feel like the ones that we look at, I think Tyler Bates, another one. I think Lyra Valkyria will fall victim to it. I think the ones that love it that much
Yeah.
where it's literally just, yes, sir, okay, sir, I'll do as I'm told, sir.
Yeah.
They're the ones that end up, it goes stale, fans get bored of them, it's like, right, off you fuck.
Yeah.
And I think there's loads that's happened to, and
Yeah.
I think it'll continue to happen. And I think Pete Dunne is one of them. He's been doing this since he was 13. He left high school at 13 and you know, basically told his mum and dad, I'm going traveling the world at fucking 13 years old. It was like, I'm going to Japan and fucking Mexico, and I'm going, that's what I'm doing. Like, you know, and he's done it. And I think because this is all he's ever done and it's all he's ever known and all he's ever wanted to do, I can imagine him backstage. Yeah, okay. You know, I can imagine him kind of, you know, going to Triple H like a naughty schoolboy and going, boss, I've not been on TV for the last 5 weeks. Am I going to be on this week? No, you're not now. Fuck off. Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's how I think that's what happens with a lot of them.
Yeah.
Which is probably why CM Punk has always been one of the biggest stars in the company, because you can call him a lot of things, but a fucking pushover ain't one of them. It's the opposite problem. He's too much of a gobshite.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been great. Great talking, Dan, as always.
Chat, and
all I've got to say is thank everyone for listening.
Yeah.
And obviously watching as well. We'll be back next week. So thank you guys for listening. And we'll see you at the next one, guys. So see you later.
See you later.
Yeah. Tune into the channel. Nexus is the name. All the hardest content, you'll never be the same. Laughs and thrills, excitement, music.